Hey guys, thank you for joining us this week. Um, I guess we got the NCAA tourney going on, so I'm surprised that some of you guys are still listening to us. But we had to get the expert to come in now that the Hawks season is coming down. Joining me on the other line today, Sam Meredith. He's back. He's happy. He's not having technical issues like me. Not kidding. Sam, what's going on?
Nothing much. Just trying to survive these last 12 games.
There's only 12 left. Oh man.
Left.
All right. Well, we were having some technical issues going on earlier, and this is going back to the last couple times I recorded everyone. So Josh is going to have to do something about his recording equipment in the future. So that's what's happening right now with us. So, Sam, how you doing? Living the life?
I'm doing good. Just trying to keep up with March Madness and mourning my bracket still.
Oh, who did you have winning it all in your bracket?
I had Arizona winning it all, so yeah.
I still have hope. I have a Duke still. Just I know I'm betraying a lot of people by saying that, but
as we're recording this right now, North Carolina's in the process of losing, so I feel good about your chances.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had them playing North Carolina, so. But
man, that would have been a crazy final game.
Yeah, Michigan State, Duke. Excuse me, Michigan State, North Carolina, Arizona. I think everyone is just dead for me in my Final Four except for Duke. I have to relook at it. But anyway, guys, we're here to talk Hawks, not randomness, which I have been known to do. So, without further ado, Sam, what is your state of the Hawks going on right now? We're gonna save the lottery talk. Well, because we were going to talk about later about your articles that you wrote, but what's your feel on the team right now?
If I had to say where the team is at right now, I'd say they're in a pretty dark place. Just with the whole, you fight as hard as you can on a night-to-night basis. You get 38 points from Taurean Prince, which should most nights equal a win, and then you still lose a game like they did last night. I mean, you lose Bays, who's a team leader. I mean, leader in the locker room, leader on the court. It's hard to see guys like that going down, and it's rough right now. But we just have to make it 12 more games until we can a little bit of happiness back in our lives.
Yeah. It's not easy. Well, Bazemore went down. Taurean Prince has gone nuclear these last two games. Whatever Coach Bud said to him when he got benched, I believe against Phoenix, he's come back and started to score. Some of the shots, I'm still kind of like, but you know what? Let's ride it.
If TP can knock down 40% of his threes, he can take as many shots as he wants.
I've been saying that. I know we've been saying that this whole year, but we were saying it eventually is going to decline. But 12 games left, and he's still shooting like that from three on catch and shoot. Maybe I need to adjust my expectations.
It offers a lot of hope for the future.
Yeah,
I don't think Taurean has superstar potential, but he's going to be a role player on the next great Hawks team if they choose to keep him around. And that's another point that a lot of people I've seen on Twitter have been talking about. Do the Hawks move Taurean around the draft? Try to move up in the draft using him.
I know. Oh boy, that's a good question right there. You know what? That is a fantastic question. Oh, what were you going to say?
Personally, I think if they do manage to get the Timberwolves pick, and they wanted to package TP and the Timberwolves pick to move up, 4 or 5 spots, if they have a player that they're just crazy about, then I'd be completely okay with it. But in any other situation, I might probably keep him another year to see, was this 40% shooting from 3? Was that the real deal? Was that Torian, or was it just a facade? I mean,
right? No, that's a good it's a good comment. Packaging the Timberwolves pick. The thing with the Torian is, it's just kind of like, that's what I was thinking about. I was like, what if he shoots like this again, and you have a guy that size and hopefully in the future on a good Hawks team, he'll be average or above average on defense. So you'll have a 3-and-D guy, which the entire league is just looking for. Also,
yeah, the D part has to improve, because what I've seen from him this year has been
yeah. Well, yeah, I'm kind of giving him the excuse, not really excuse, but kind of like, he's still learning. But
yeah, I get that. And it's also the team he has around him. That doesn't do him any favors.
Yeah, that's true. Something else I want to point out about him is he at least stays healthy. So far, he stays on the court. It's not like, he's missing games as a 3-and-D guy. Health is something that's very valuable, at least that I see in the NBA. And if he could stay on the court, then that's something right there.
Big time.
All right. So, Taurean Prince. Kent, you mentioned Kent Bazemore is gone. Now, Kent is gone for the season. What was the injury? A bone bruise?
Yeah, a left knee bone bruise. I was at that game with Brad, and it looked a lot worse than a bone bruise, to be honest. At first, we were both kind of worried that an MRI might show something, ligament damage wise. But thankfully, it was only a bone bruise. Yes, it really sucks that he's out the rest of the season, because he was killing it this year.
Right.
I mean, it was a good season for him, and I think there's a lot for him to build on this summer. I mean, we've seen what he can do with a full summer of being healthy, and how he can, compared to like the year before, this last summer,
yeah,
he was, injured in the summer, so he didn't get time to, get better.
Right.
And this last summer, he obviously got better, and he got back to being the Bazemore that we knew him to be.
Well, he was better than the Bazemore than I was expecting. Like, Kent was best player on the team this year, possibly.
Easily.
Easily? Okay, I'm not the only one that thought this. Okay, Kent was very good this year, and, I'm going to miss him, but for the reasons for the tank. But he definitely helps the Hawks in that sense. But I will get into that later. But you know what?
That is a great point and an underrated storyline, because I mean, Kent was probably floating this team 5 wins this season just by himself.
Right. And now it's kind of like, well, let's see what else we have. And you hate to say that, because he's hurt, we're seeing kind of the emergence, and it's possibly just a hot streak, but we're watching Taurean Prince right now.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a blessing in disguise. So you never know what these kind of situations can lead to. And the guy like Tyler Dorsey getting playing time, and I absolutely love Dorsey as a prospect.
Oh, right. Yeah, he's
the guys at Peachtree Hoops will let you know that for sure. But I think TD can be a 3-and-D prospect himself.
Heavy emphasis on the 3. As a rookie, he's a really good shooter as a rookie. Handles the ball effectively. I was kind of surprised. He was better than I thought offensively, off the dribble and everything.
To that point, I've seen a lot of people say that he might be the next point guard for the Hawks. Let's just slow it down just a little bit there.
Okay.
He definitely has a great handle, but I don't
Right.
think he's their playmaker style yet. After watching him for an extended period since Bazemore went out, he does have playmaker ability, but some of the passes he makes are a little bit iffy, and that's to be expected as a rookie.
He's going to be great playing alongside the Hawks' #1 pick, Trae Young. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I couldn't say that. Okay, so let's move on. The main reason, outside of you being one of the more fun guys to talk to that I bring on here, I wanted to bring up your lottery, your Ping Pong Chronicles, the series of articles you were writing on Peachtree Hoops. So, can you explain real quick to the people, quick synopsis, just overall what it is?
Okay, well, the basis for the ping pong in the playoffs, and ever since then, I've been I started doing it 2 weeks, and right about the time we're eliminated, we're them sales of people around Hawks and Brewers catch. So we're keeping track of the Timberwolves and the Rockets because both of those teams owe the Hawks a first-round pick. So it's pretty big that those teams win.
Wait, hold on a second. The audio is going in and out. Might be a connection buffering issue right now.
Can you still hear me?
I have to edit this out. Fantastic.
Hello.
Yes. Say something real quick so I can make sure
hello,
this is
working.
Something. Okay, cool. So the last I heard was when I just asked the question about the. I guess if you could give the explanation real quick again of what your article is about.
So basically, what the Ping Pong Chronicles are about, is chronicling, how the Hawks pick sits in the current standings, how the Hawks' strength of schedule sits from here, which, spoiler alert, it's not great for the Hawks. And the teams that owe the Hawks first-round picks, the Timberwolves and the Rockets, where they're sitting. The Timberwolves, they're locked in a tight race, and their pick only conveys if they make the playoffs out west. Houston's pick is already conveyed, so that's a foregone conclusion. And also, it keeps track of the teams around the Hawks in the standings and their schedules, how they're faring and stuff like that.
Okay. So basically, the important tanking, if you're into that kind of thing.
If you partake in the tank.
If you're a part of the tank. Well, it has been very different following the tank this year compared to years past as Hawks fans. This season,
it almost feels dirty, doesn't it?
Yeah. I feel wrong rooting for it.
I do too.
But yeah, it's so wrong, and here we are after a decade of making the playoffs. But we were talking earlier of how Kent Bazemore definitely was not helping the tank. So, if you're into that kind of thing, here we are. We're seeing an interesting roster an interesting roster in terms of the tank. And you know what? Let's hope the Hawks can get that Luka Doncic. I'm gonna, you know what? We're gonna be 5 years from now talking about the guy, and I'm still gonna mispronounce his name.
Just go Luka.
Luka.
There you go.
But yeah, 5 years from now, I'm still gonna be mispronouncing it. And you know what? We're just gonna.
Hey, you know what? At least you don't do what Neek does on national TV. And
That's true.
what is the one name that he just like slaughters every time?
There's multiple. Roy Hibbert, Sheldon Mack.
There you go, Shelvin or Sheldon Mack. I mean, it's like they're the same player.
Yes, I would want those two players to come face to face, Sheldon and Shelvin. Just one day.
Both of them Dominique at the same time. That'd be perfect.
Right. So your articles, everyone, check them out. It has been very interesting watching, considering all the teams were tied with 20 wins for the longest time. But now we're getting a little bit of a break, little bit of the break in the action. But you can't tell me when you were watching that Bucks game with how close it was at the beginning of the fourth, you weren't getting a little worried?
Oh, for sure. And the biggest storyline of last night was Memphis, who finally won a game, losing 19 straight.
Yeah, Memphis won a game. I was kind of like, oh my goodness, they might actually win. And yeah, they won. The Hawks are within, how many games are we within now? 2 games?
They are now within 1.5 of the number 1 spot and a half game of the second spot.
Right. It's very interesting to watch. And it's very frustrating considering the Hawks have consistently been tanking this whole season. And considering you have other teams that have been trying to tank only the last month, it's just kind of like, come on. We deserve this number 1 pick, guys.
Well, I will say the Hawks, for the first 50 games of the season, it really didn't seem like they were trying to lose games. I mean, they were out there fighting, not in.
Right.
Wasn't up to the holding task of creating a team that could contend for a playoff spot. But yeah, over the last, I don't know, 15, 20 games, it definitely seems like the team is not set on winning first.
Well, we see this roster and well, there you have it. So keeping on with this, we're going to try to have a quick show today for everybody. And before we get to the questions, because we have a couple, and by a couple, I mean a few. I wanted to go over with you the new section that I added to these podcasts, my top 3. Maybe I should think of a better title. I don't know. Still pending. But basically, I scour the Twitters of the Hawks player and give Hawks players, and I give kind of like my top 3 tweets from the past week. So,
this is going to be great.
So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So, my number 3. Now, this was hard to do because there's so many. There's like so many honorable mentions. So, what I wanted to do was I wanted to put as number 3 the collection of tweets from Kent Bazemore. So, since Kent Bazemore's injury, he has been on Twitter just like randomly giving encouragement and talking about the games. So, like, he's saying, so for instance, he tweeted Torrin Prince after the last game, and he says, the name is going to hold weight now. The name hold weight. And I'm like, oh, okay. It's fun to see Bazemore make these comments. He's saying, he makes other comments like the team has a lot of fight in them. And it's kind of like, oh, so he's watching these games just like us, but tweeting away with them. So
yeah, that's definitely. I love Baze so much. He's a fun player.
Right. Bazemore is great. So drum roll, we'll go to our number 2. So in honor of the NCAA tourney going on right now, Dwayne Dedman and John Collins retweeted a Sports Illustrated tweet that says, 2 years ago today, Torrent Prince became a legend. And for those of you that don't remember, Torrent Prince said something after his Baylor team lost to, I'm trying to remember who they lost to that game. Yale. They lost to Yale. And a reporter asked Torrent, how does Yale out-rebound you guys? Torrent gives it about 2 seconds, says, when the ball goes up and they grab the ball before it hits the ground, that's called a rebound. They got more of those than us. And it's funny to see Dwayne Dedman and John Collins retweet that. Kind of like give like the laughing emoji and say, John Collins says, young goat. It was funny to see that. And all right. And my number one from this week, my number one, I'm trying to find it, is the tweet god himself, Malcolm Delaney. Like, I could do a top 5 tweets from the week just based on him. But apparently, Malcolm Delaney is in the discussion for getting his jersey retired at Virginia Tech, if people didn't know this. So somebody made a comment to him saying, isn't he even top 3 Virginia Tech alums? And he says, put 3 people's numbers over mine and let's debate wins and individual stats. And this is in reference to his jersey getting retired, to which I immediately thought of that Chappelle Show skit. Named top 5 top rappers, Dylon. I immediately thought of Malcolm Delaney when he said that. And he just has a series of tweets. He retweeted Mike Scott, kind of just like doing the laughing emoji to Mike Scott when Virginia lost to UMBC. So
Malcolm is ruthless.
Yeah, the tweet god. I hope he stays on this team forever just for his Twitter.
Yes, give that man a lifetime contract.
Because it is just pure entertainment. He is the inspiration for this segment that I have of my top 3 tweets. And there you have it. If I missed anyone, let me know. Just so everyone knows, I kind of figured out that I just found out Mike Scott blocked me on Twitter, so that's very depressing.
This is about the same time like when I found out Marco Bellinelli blocked me on Twitter, which apparently he blocks everybody, so maybe it's not that bad.
Possibly. But I'm trying to think, what did I... No, okay, yeah, I was definitely making fun of Mike Scott's defense 2 years ago. So there's definitely a reason for him to block me. Anyway, in the essence of time, go ahead and jump to some questions. We got a good number today. So, first question I got from Darquelis @_Nacho. I love it. He first says, does Travis Schlenk want to keep Mike Budenholzer? Does Mike Budenholzer want to stay? And if not, due to demolition rebuild, what direction do we go and how much will it impact our player development?
That's a great question. If I had to say myself, I think that the better part of that question is the second half. Does Mike Budenholzer want to stay? Because Coach Bud has done nothing that would be a fireable offense with what he's been given on this roster. I mean, if anything, he's been a miracle worker with these guys. So, I mean, it's all up to him if he wants to stay, because just to be clear, this rebuild is not going to be a one and done kind of thing. It's going to be multiple seasons. So if you'd have to get Coach Bud to buy into the fact that he might be losing more than just this year.
Right. It's probably not going to be till like 2020 or something like that before the Hawks look to be, contending with the players they got.
Right. And the second part of that question, if they did let Coach Bud go, which direction would they go? I'd like to see them take a look at David Fizdale because I'm a huge Fizdale fan. Love what he did in Memphis. I hate that it didn't work out because I thought that was the perfect situation for Coach Fizz. Right. And I don't think that would affect the player development staff at all. He's also good. He comes from a good system in Miami where player development is the top priority, and they're year after year the best shaped team. They have a good set offense, good ideals, and like if I had to pick somebody to come in after Coach Bud, God forbid, it would be Coach Fizz.
Right. Well, yeah, I want Bud to stay, but yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. You just kind of like blew my mind thinking about this. Yeah, I definitely want him to stay, but he wouldn't have a reason to if he wanted to leave because he's too good for this roster. And it's, as you mentioned, the team's going to be rebuilding for the next couple of years. So, you know what? I don't know. I hope he stays, but you know what? We'll see. So, he also asks us, what is the roster outlook? Keepers, trade assets, targets this summer, next summer, plan with cap space. I was going to say that's probably a question I want to save for just the entirety of a podcast.
Yeah, but, for real.
Because there's a lot with that. And that's probably something I'm going to have to address at the end of the season anyway. So.
Right. Such a good question. It made Josh make a whole episode just for it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to make an entire episode on that one. So, but let's see here. Real quick, trade. You know what? If you had to have one trade asset, just one guy from the roster, who would it be? And what would you possibly want to look for?
I mean, John Collins is obviously the most valuable guy off the roster right now.
Right.
He's controlled, and he's already an NBA player. So
that good asset, though. I don't know. Finding him like as late as we did in the draft, and he's still in the rookie contract. We'd have to get something good in return for that.
Yeah, like something of equal or more value.
Right. Right. Torin, I do like the idea of possibly moving up, but that's if that's a possibility. But anyway.
Yeah, Torian's best case scenario is that he becomes a career 36 to 40% 3-point shooter and can defend threes and some fours here and there. And on for the Hawks, really, let's come to face facts. That's a role player. That's not a guy that you want to build your team solely around him. That's not a slight at Torian because he's really good.
Right.
But at the same time, you have a guy like John Collins. Seems like you might be able to build your team around him if he develops a 3-point shot, if he develops an outside game, because he's already got the pick and roll down. He's been a great defender this year, and he's only going to get better at 20 years old.
Right. Well then. So, next question we got from Alex Potor at Abbott underscore Tool Hamex. Alex, I apologize if I completely butchered your Twitter name and your last name. But he asks us, Alex asks, thoughts on Torin Princess's, I'm joking, Prince's ceiling. Is his recent play legit, or is he closer to the player he's been for the majority of the year? Alex, I'm going to go with, I think it's closer to what we've been seeing from the year. He might be in a bit of a hot, I completely forgot the word I was going to use. He might be
on a hot streak.
Yeah, on a hot streak right now. But I expect him to cool off. But, it's a matter of how much he cools off is kind of what I want to see happens with him. Like, how is he getting his baskets? Is he still really effective catching and shooting? And is he still making the effort to drive the ball when he does? And is he not going to take bad shots? Because I've seen a couple bad shots from him that have gone in. And I just kind of like, are we going to still see that or not? So...
Yeah, for sure. I got the chance to talk to him after his first 38-point game. I forget who we played that night, but I got to talk to him after the game, and I asked him, does Coach Bud, is one of his points of emphasis for you to become more of a creator in the offense? And he gave me a straight-up no and said that Coach Bud emphasizes him shooting the ball when he catches it, which leads me to believe the Hawks, too, view him as a role player, somebody who can catch the ball, shoot the three, defend. He's a glue guy. But at the same time, he's really toolsy. But he just turned 24, and if anything is going to happen that turns him into, one of those next-level guys, it's going to have to be him repeating what he did this year, plus some on the creation end. He's going to have to be better with assists, stop throwing passes out of bounds, and through guys' legs and turning the ball over.
Right. Okay. Let's see here. Darquelis asked us again, how long does he think the rebuild would take? I say 2020 might be when we start to see the improvement, but I don't know. How long do you think the rebuild could possibly take, Sam?
It's really hard to say because it all depends on what the Hawks think of Bembry and Prince. And the Hawks already like Collins and Dorsey because that was Schlink's choices in the draft. 20 is a good estimate for time. If it takes till 21 or 22, I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay. Well, I was thinking we might see the start of improvement in 20 is kind of my expectation.
Yeah, that's probably right on.
Okay. And that's kind of like when we could tell, like, all right, who are we going to keep on the roster and stuff like that. Evil Dallas asks, have any players in the NCAA tournament played their way off your draft board? Evil Dallas, let me answer this real quick. So, real quick, I was talking to my dad about the NCAA tournament, and I said, yeah, the only thing is this first round, you get these like big names, they won't really have much competition to go against. And I use this exact example. I said, for instance, DeAndre Ayton, he's probably going to be going against like these like 6'9", 6'8" guys in the first round and probably destroy them. I kind of want to see what he does against good competition. So I'm probably going to miss the first game just because I'm not going to rush home to see him play because I expect Arizona to, at least make it to the Final Four. Well, I screwed that up.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've only seen one guy that really didn't look ready for the NBA draft, and that was Michael Porter Jr. I don't think he should have come back at all because he obviously was not ready to come back. But still, I have him in my top 5 because everything you want in a prospect like what he is there. He's got the passing skills, shooting skills. He's long. He can defend. He can rebound. All of that's still there, but this was just a result of him not being 100% yet and then kind of rushing him back. So I don't think anybody slipped off that I originally had in, but there's definitely been some guys that have played up with their tournament play, like Colin Sexton and guys like that who have been, just awesome in the last couple of weeks.
Not Trae Young?
Yeah, not so much.
Awesome. Okay, so Miss D at female ATL Hawk asks, Schlink has signed some really good G League talent. Who do you think stays next season and who goes back to the G League?
That's a good question. This is a kind of tough one because there are so many G League guys on the Hawks right now.
Right.
I do think the team views Morris, Cleveland, and maybe White as legit prospects. Majette isn't an NBA prospect, and I'm not sure if they'll have him back next season or not. At 28, he's just, we've been down that rabbit hole before.
You're gonna get my pod banned. I feel it. I feel
it's already banned in parts of Alabama.
Oh, jeez. See what you did? Okay. Okay. All right. So no to Josh. Yeah, it has been interesting watching some of these guys come in and play. It's like, oh, okay, sure, Andrew White.
Yeah, drop 15 points in your first game. Why don't you?
Yeah, Damian Lee. Looking
decent. Damian Lee is. Me and Jeff Siegel had this chat the other night in the Slack chat about how rebuilding teams have 1,000,001 of Damian Lee. If you look at the Philadelphia 76ers back when they were going through the early part of the process, they had a lot of guys like Damian Lee who could come in, shoot the ball, iffy on defense, but they were, a dime a dozen kind of player.
Right. Okay. No, that's good. That's a good comment. Give me something to think about. Okay, so let's see here. I think that does it for our questions for now. And to close out, I'm going to give Sam, I'm going to give you a quick quiz.
Oh, God.
Here we go. I'm just going to have 5 questions. Now, I enjoy giving quizzes, and something I'm going to try to start doing on my recordings so I don't have to warn everybody. It's going to be in honor of the NCAA tournament since, colleges. So it's real simple. I'm just going to name the school, and you're going to name which Hawks player currently on the roster went there. However, to make it more fun, I'm going to have my timer on, and I'm going to time it for 5 seconds. So if you can answer it in 5 seconds, then you get it correct. And I think I'm going to go with 5 of these. Now, everybody at home, I've played this myself. This is not easy to be put on the spot like this, so you know. So if Sam gets all of them wrong, I've been there. If he gets all of them right, I have not been there because he's a freaking genius if he does. So I'm gonna give an example. So Sam, you don't have to answer this in 5 seconds, but which guy in the Hawks roster went to Wake Forest? And you would reply
John Collins.
John Collins. Okay, cool. All right. So let's start easy here. Okay. Who on the Hawks roster went to Old Dominion?
Kent Bazemore.
All right. Didn't even give me 3 seconds. Okay. And if I were to say, who's the next one I want to give? Baylor.
Torian Prince.
Oh, all right. Nice. Duke.
Ooh.
Got
Don't.
2, 1. Miles Plumley.
Gosh. I should have gotten
Okay. Let's see here. Okay. All right. So now this is where it really gets fun.
Let's do it.
Who on the Hawks roster went to Syracuse?
Andrew White.
All right. How about Louisville?
Damian Lee.
Oh, you squeaked it just in time. Okay. And let's give 2 more. George Washington.
That'd be Tyler Cavanaugh.
Oh my God, you're so much better at this than me. Okay. And let me see here. Oh, just so everybody knows, I'm getting all of these off of Basketball Reference right now. Okay, and let's do the last one here. Who went to USC?
That'd be Dwayne Dedman.
Oh my goodness. I had no idea what school he went to. And
Yeah.
you managed to answer that within 3.8 seconds, just so you know.
Maybe I spend a little too much time watching the Hawks.
Man, I think I answered all the hard ones. Like everyone else is easy, except for Malloy. I've never even heard of that school before. But
Yeah, that's where Morris went, right?
Yep, I never even heard of that school until
it's a Division II school in it's in New York somewhere. Amherst.
I'm not even gonna look. Okay, well, good job on that. Go ahead and make me look bad. Bonus question: Southeast Missouri State University.
Oh God, no clue.
Antonius Cleveland, the mystery man. I think he's on this roster.
Does Antonius Cleveland exist?
Are we sure? I'm not sure that's a real person. Okay, great, fantastic. Well, everybody, thank you for tuning in. That was the show today. Sam, thank you for joining in amongst all the technical difficulties we had, and just
Of
issues
course.
I had with scheduling. This is pretty fun. I have to get you back when we get closer and closer to the tank race.
Definitely.
So
Here, I got one last question for you.
Go ahead.
And this comes from True Brain Virgo on Twitter.
Oh.
Is Dennis Schroeder the point guard of the future for the Hawks?
I really don't want to say anything about this because Trubane is a good follow. He's been a great follow, good guy to talk to on Twitter. So I really don't want to say this, but unless Dennis starts playing defense.
Oh, for me, this is an easy no.
I mean, I'm trying to be nice, but unless if he starts playing defense and can improve his jump shot, I don't see why he would be on the team. No.
Yeah.
We see his backup Isaiah Taylor in the game, and it's just like, I don't know what it is, but it's just like the offense seems to go better with him playing.
I think it has a lot to do with defense and defense leading into offense.
Right. I'm sorry, Trubane.
No, True knows how I feel about Dennis. He thinks it's funny, so.
I'm so sorry. Okay. Do we have any more questions? Because I believe that is it that I have.
That's all I see.
Great. Well, thank you, listeners, for listening. And until next time, Sam, we got to get you back so we can talk about the eventual the loss breaker that we know is going to happen right before.
Oh yes,
Everybody
knows about.
And I'm considering doing a live stream. I should do a live stream recording of the lottery when they actually draw the ping pong balls. I'm considering that. So,
Viewer discretion is advised.
oh man, that'd be a fun thing. Maybe I can set up and talk to and wow, Cincinnati lost. Maybe I can set up with Brad and I could figure out how to put a live stream. Actually, I know how to, but maybe I could convince him do a live stream of the lottery drawing. Anyway, Sam, this has been fun.
Definitely. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, not a problem. Until next time.